Now let us learn about nested loop. Now nested loop is not a very new concept. Nested loop means one while loop inside another while loop, or one for loop inside another for loop, something like that. Now there is no limitation in the level of nesting. That is, you can nest as many for loop as you want inside a while or for loop. So we are going to understand the nested loop concept with an example. Here in this slide, you can see some triangular structure that I have made by the star character of the keyboard. To print out this triangle structure utilizing this star, you need to know the concept of the nested loop. So what is the concept? Let's learn about it. Now, if you have a minute look at all these structure, then you can eventually realize that this structure has two different things in it. The first one, there is a row which is incrementing one after another. The first one is row 1, then the second row, then the third row, something like this. And the other part is its columns. Its columns are increasing from 1 to 2 to 3 like this. So if you want to print out this triangular structure, you need to use two different loops, one controlling the row of it and another controlling the column of it. Now let us see this example. Here I have initialized the total number of rows as 3. As you can see it in the picture, there are 3 rows. Next, I have initialized a loop control variable called row, and I have initialized it 1. It is basically depicting each row of this triangular structure. Then I have constructed one while loop condition, which is row is less than equals num rows, that is 3. And finally, I have incremented the row by 1 in each iteration of the while loop. That means row will start from the first row, and then in every while loop, it will go to the next row. So we are done with that row part. Then the next while loop should take care of the column. Here also the similar thing happens. Now here I have started utilizing another loop control variable called column. I have initialized it to 1, and now to form the inner while loop, you have to see the structure very well. You have to understand what it is doing. If you see that, if you look at the structure, then you will realize that first row has only 1 column in it. The second row has 2 columns in it. Third row has 3 columns in it. So if you try to write it down programmatically, that means you have to use a while loop where the column will start from 1 and it will iterate until it is similar as the row. And then for each iteration, you have to print the star. And finally, you have to modify the column variable by 1 to get this structure printed. All the other structure over here are left for your hands-on experiences. Now, in the beginning, you may think that this is going to be very hard. So I have prepared some brainstorming example in these slides. In this slide, you can see several nested while loop, which are fairly complex, but not as complex as those structures that you can start with. And also, in another slide, I have prepared some nested for loop brainstorming, which you may find useful to start with. So that is all about the loop control structure in C++ program.